Welcome to the Four Directions Hub Patient Index Module User Training. My name is Addie Sochats and I'll be leading you through today's course. This session will provide you with an introduction and training for the Four Directions Hub Patient Index Model. The Patient Index is a web-based tool that creates a unified, single source of information for a patient. This training is beneficial because the 4DH Patient Index assures accurate identification of patients in the 4DH, allows consolidation, reliability, and completeness of patient information for use in the clinical viewer downstream, and assures that all of the patient care team can search and view for a patient's care record or records. This course is suitable but not limited to the following roles: HIM personnel, patient registrars, medical records staff, site managers, and area clinical application coordinators. A few notes here about 4DH access. We strongly recommend the use of Chrome. Also, Microsoft Edge and Firefox may be used. However, at this point in time, Internet Explorer, it does currently work, but it is not supported with these different modules. A user must have an account within the D1 Active Directory, and a user may request access through their supervisor, who at this point in time will fill out a request via the ITAC form. That may be changing in the upcoming months. By the end of this training, you will be able to define some key terms throughout and use the patient index, which includes logging in, searching for a patient, using the work list, and linking and unlinking patients within the tool. At this point, we'll be going through some terminology. So overall, we have the 4DH, the Four Directions Hub, which is a unified community-wide care record compiled from data within the federal, tribal, and urban sites and facilities of IHS, as well as outside entities to create a single unified patient record. For the pilot of this effort, we connected with the VA. We use two terms when we talk about 4DH, the hub, which references the access and viewing of records that are internal to the IHS from site to site or facility to facility. And we also talk about the gateway. The gateway references access and patient information originating from outside of the IHS through the eHealth exchange. Potential exchange partners may be state exchanges, the VA, the DoD, and so on. Currently, we'll be taking a look at the patient index. Again, the patient index is a web-based tool that identifies and compiles demographic information across various facilities, sites, and clinical and administrative systems. This module will create the single best consolidated record for each patient from their local record information per site or facility. Downstream and in another training, we'll talk about the clinical viewer. And the clinical viewer is a web-based tool that enables IHS staff to access their patients' health information, which is captured within IHS and across any participating outside organizations. This is a really important slide here. This is the 4 Directions Gateway opt-out policies. The 4 Direction Hub plans an opt-out policy for external exchange. An opt-out policy, HIE, assumes all patients would want their information available to their providers, but offers them the opportunity to opt out if they would not like to share their information outside of IHS. What this is saying is patient information will be shared unless the patient elects to opt out. Opt out for patients will be documented with the Form IHS 912-1. Again, this applies to sharing outside of IHS. Examples of that would be with state exchanges, the VA, DoD, and so on. This is what IHS plans. The current policy requires an opt-in approach utilizing the Form IHS 810. What this means is that patients currently have to opt in to share their information with outside entities. Again, those include state exchanges, the VA, DoD, and any entity that is going to participate in this in the future. All right, now I'm going to do a brief overview of the patient index. So the patient index utilizes advanced matching algorithms and assigns unique patient IDs. It allows for validating or invalidating potential patient matches. IHS tribal and urban facility supervisors shall designate PI users. So what we're doing in here are matching potential patients that have been seen at multiple clinics throughout IHS, and it allows us to consolidate those different patient records into what we call the single best record across all of our sites and facilities. Some module functions that we have here, we are able to search for patient records. We are able to search in a variety of different ways, anything from first name, last name. You can utilize date of birth, gender, address, phone number. Upon search, the results will be returned in order by a weight calculation. That weight calculation gives scores to each field, and the higher the match, the higher the weight score will come out. And we'll see that in our demo, which will be our next recorded item. We are also able to view patient records, so the ability to view the full demographic information at the consolidated level, and we can also view from each individual facility. To note here, we do not make any edits to the information that comes into us. The source of truth comes from the site or facility. Other functions here, we are able to view potential duplicate records. So if a patient is seen at Chinley and a patient is seen at GIMC, their patient information will be brought into the patient index, and it will be either automatically matched if all of the fields are the same, or it will allow us for manual intervention where a patient registrar or somebody with access to this tool will be able to go in and link those two patient records to create that single best record. We can compare multiple records, whether they are matches or whether they have not matched within the system. We can force a comparison against two. And we can manage these duplicate records by linking them, unlinking them, and removing any potential links in the future. A good case of this would be twins. You have a Tim and Tom that come in, same birthday, same mother's last name. We know as medical staff that these are indeed twins. So we are going to remove the link for all future potential updates to these records because we know they are indeed two separate patients. Within this tool, one of the best functions we have out there is the ability to create a work list. This allows for a site-specific listing of all potential duplicate matches from a particular site or facility. It allows the user to determine whether potential matches within their facility is potentially the same patient or two separate patients. So you just get a really nice view of your work list for your site when you go in here. And this is the work process that we have in the patient index. Basically, the PI application will search and gather potential duplicates. The external process down here is that if something comes in as an indefinite match saying the computer calculations are not making a definite match, we need some manual intervention. What will happen is a user will come in, research these potential duplicates to verify whether the records are a single patient or separate patient. We will make a determination as a user on these records, and then we will go in and perform the link and unlink within the patient index tool. The patient index will then take that information and move forward with either the match of the patient records or determining that they are indeed separate patients. At this time, we will break here and you can join us on the demonstration for the patient index, which is a separate recording. Thank you.